dwell into the issue on betrayal of public trust. Kasi sang-ayon sa nakikita natin, ang nakasulat base dito sa complaint is that this is basically all about unprogrammed appropriations. May I request our colleagues to endorse this impeachment complaint? When we talk about unprogrammed appropriations, saan na mga ahensya ito dumadaan and who are the final determinants of the approval and listing of such, including prioritization?
Deputy Speaker Garin wishes to raise a question.
Para sa General Appropriations Act, partikular ng 2023 at 2024 na binabanggit dito sa complaint, ang sinasabi po doon ay ang paggamit ng unprogrammed appropriations ay magiging alinsunod sa Section 35, Chapter 5, Book 6 ng Administrative Code. So may explicit reference po sa special provision ng unprogrammed appropriations dito sa provision na ito. At ang sinasabi po ron na expenditures from lump sum appropriations, so ibig sabihin, sa GAA mismo, sinasabi na ang unprogrammed appropriations ay isang tipo ng lump sum appropriation na covered ng provision na ito. At ang sabi ay expenditures from lump sum appropriations authorized for any purpose or for any department, office, or agency in any annual General Appropriations Act shall be made in accordance with a special budget to be approved by the President. So yun po yung proseso na tinatakda. So kung meron pong
Madam Chair, if I may,
purpose sa unprogrammed appropriations, kailangan
Please
gumawa.
let the Honorable Tino finish his
Kailangan
answer.
gumawa ang kinauukulang ahensya na covered nung purpose na yon, authorized, ay nagumawa ng special budget at ito ay isusumiti sa Presidente para sa kanyang approval. At sa approval lamang ng Presidente, maaaring gastusin ang unprogrammed appropriations. So, Presidente po ang may sole and exclusive na kapangyarihan at discretion kung ano ang maaari at hindi maaaring paggamitan ng unprogrammed appropriations.
Madam Chair,
The
let me
Honorable
go
D.S.
back
Garin.
to the answers of the Honorable Tino. Balikan po natin. While it is true that you cited a provision in the General Appropriations Act, at ang pagkakaintindi mo ay it's the sole prerogative of the President, let us look at the actual process. That's why I was trying to interrupt earlier, and apologies for that. Balikan natin. Unang-una, saan ba nanggagaling yung paglista ng unprogrammed appropriations? If the good sponsor can directly answer the specific agency or the specific agencies.
Honorable Tino.
Yung step 1.
Depende po sa purposes na nakasaad sa unprogrammed appropriations. Kung gusto nyo po, pwede nating tignan
Yeah.
ang
With due
mga
courtesy to
special
the Honorable
provisions.
Tino, if I may,
At
balik
kung-
tayo dun sa
tutuloy ko lang po,
proseso.
at kung ang purpose na tinutukoy katulad sa 2024 ay yung tinatawag na CPAG, which covers infrastructure programs,
Yeah. Madam Chair,
dadaan po, at
Honorable Garin,
DPWH
please
po ang
allow Honorable
magpe-prepare.
Tino to finish the answer.
DPWH po, ang secretary ng DPWH ang magpe-prepare ng special budget.
Okay. Madam Chair, if I may, with due
Honorable
courtesy
Garin.
to my colleague, can we answer direct to the point? Kasi gusto kong i-establish yung proseso so that I can be guided on whether there is so if it is sufficient in substance or not. Let's go back to the process. Ang tanungan natin, where does it emanate? And if I get it correctly from your answer, it emanates from the department. Is that right, Madam Chair?
Honorable Tino.
That is correct.
Okay. So ibig sabihin, itong listahan ng unprogrammed appropriations, lahat na ito ay nanggagaling sa kanya-kanyang departamento. Is that correct, Madam Chair?
Po.
After the department would pencil that in, saan po siya napupunta, Madam Chair?
Honorable Tino.
Madam Chair, dadaan ito sa DBM.
Okay. And in the process of going to the Department of Budget and Management, who defends that proposed list of unprogrammed appropriations, Madam Chair?
Honorable Tino.
Mas maganda, Madam Chair, na tanungin ang mga kinauukulan dito, pero sasagot ako batay sa aking nalalaman at
Point of order,
ang
Madam
proseso na
Chair.
ito.
Sorry,
There's a point of order.
Madam Chair.
SDML Lawrence Defensor is recognized.
Let's reinstate our original rule that the members will have their own manifestations. And if ever we find this to be sufficient in substance, then we can exchange interrogation. But at this point, let's go back to our earlier rule yesterday that we can say whatever we had to say and let our individual conscience assess whether the allegations in the recital of facts constitutes an impeachable offense. So we don't have to argue back and forth.
We allow the sponsors or the endorsers to answer so long as they want. And if the speakers or the members are not willing to consider the answers, then the speakers are advised to do their manifestation by way of a speech or straight manifestation instead of raising question.
Ma-
Would you like to answer?
Yes, Madam Speaker, and in consideration of the manifestation of the Honorable Senior Deputy Majority Leader, isang sagot na lang po. Basta malinaw po sa proseso na itinatakda ng batas na manggagaling sa departamento ang proposal for as long as authorized under the purposes of the unprogrammed appropriations for that year. Tapos, dadaan sa DBM. Pero ultimately, at ito po ang pinaka-importante, ang autorisasyon ng paggamit sa unprogrammed appropriations ay sa presidente. No? Ang ibig din sabihin nito, meron din siyang kapangyarihan, kung mayroon siyang kapangyarihang mag-authorize, meron din siyang kapangyarihang hindi mag-authorize. At yun po ang isang batayan na sinasabi natin kung bakit inabuso niya ang kapangyarihang ito. Kaya po, betrayal of public trust.
Madam Chair.
Honorable Garin.
Yeah. Thank you very much, distinguished colleague, for that response. The reason why I asked that is that I wanted to be clarified because based on the complaint, it's stated and it appears, and especially during the initial answers of our distinguished sponsor, tila ang naipapalabas na ang presidente ang may diskresyon or may kapangyarihan at pumili kung ano ang mapopondohan. But contrary to what I am hearing now, based on the direct answers of our distinguished colleague, the unprogrammed appropriation starts with a proposal from each department, duly vetted by the DBM, defended by the proponent, and these are the cabinet secretaries or their alter egos who are the undersecretaries, and once approved, these are included in the NEP, the National Expenditure Program. After that, it is forwarded to Congress and Senate. Kung meron mang mga dinagdag, binawas at pinalitan, this is being done because of the budget deliberations that happens between the legislative bodies and the executive offices, meaning each department. Moving forward, Madam Chair, and just to manifest, sa pagkakaintindi ko in the budget process, once the General Appropriations Act is approved, there is a list of unprogrammed appropriations, meaning it will be funded once may pondo, may savings, or may loan. And as to my understanding, it is presumed that the Department of Budget and Management follows the chronology of prioritization set forth in the GAA as approved by Congress and Senate. After which, again, when there are funds that are available, this is being carved out from the approved GAA based on the prioritizations again. After which, it goes to the President for approval, which, on my understanding, Mr. Chair, is done by the technical finance people. While I agree that meddling in the unprogrammed appropriations, if indeed it is true, is wrong, I do not see the connection between the liability of the President and this allegation simply because, example, the mention of the statement, the unprogrammed appropriations mechanism was designed specifically to fund the discretionary priorities of leaders' allocations. This is a vague accusation that has been left unproven, and how will the President know, handling a very big country, know the individual request if indeed it is true? Next, Madam Chair, it can set a precedence for future actions because, again, the inaction of the President to approve or to sign the request of the DBM that was carved out from the prioritization as stated in the General Appropriations Act might be misconstrued as he is being remiss of his duty because that is expected to have passed through the proper channels, considering that, again, prioritization and listing emanated from the end user, the department, duly vetted by several technical people, culminating before Congress and Senate and going back to the DBM for implementation. In other words, Madam Chair, much as I wanted to ask questions because I really wanted to be clarified, but with due courtesy to the manifestation of our good Senior Deputy Majority Leader, let me just state it clearly. Unang-una, sino ang nag-request? Ito yung iba-ibang mga departamento. Sino ang nagtatanong kung ito ba ay kailangan o hindi? The technical people of the Department of Budget and Management who are career people. Hindi nga ito yung executive, hindi ito yung secretaries. After that, it goes to the cabinet. And the cabinet endorses that to the President. And then it becomes the National Expenditure Program. Dumadaan ng Kongreso, dumadaan ng Senado, nagkakaroon ng sagutan ang legislatura at eksekutiba. After the approval of that GAA, kung saan nakasaad doon yung 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and my understanding, Madam Chair, is the chronology is followed. So kung ang Presidente ngayon ay isa-isa yang titingnan that will set for a precedence by us giving the signal that the President is supposed to be the technical financial determinant of all of these factors. In other words, Madam Chair, mali yung sumobra masyado yung unprogrammed appropriations, if indeed that is true. However, I find it unfair to blame it on the President because we, as members of Congress, should also have taken a proactive stand in policing, in asking the cabinet secretaries, and this is precisely the reason, Madam Chair, I'm just looking out of the balcony. May I request my distinguished colleagues that we should activate the oversight committees in Congress so that whatever request on a program appropriations that the cabinet secretaries are putting forward should also be vetted, especially the impact and the prioritization. Kasi yung pasunod-sunod na numero nun galing sa proponent, nasa budget, at ina-approve, andun na lang sa pinakahuli, what the President usually does is synonymous to a ministerial duty, allowing the technical people and the executive people on the ground to apply what has been approved by many aspects in our government. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Speaker, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Diaz-Guerin. The Honorable Tino is recognized.
Kailangan ko lang pong tumugon kasi mukhang meron pong basic na misunderstanding ang kagalang-galang na Deputy Speaker Garin sa aligasyon dito sa ikalawang bahagi. No? Kasi parang ang intindi niya na ang abuso ng discretion ng Pangulo ay naganap during budget preparation, yung paghahanda ng NEP. Pero hindi po. Ang tinutukoy po natin dito ay abuso ng discretion ng Pangulo during budget execution, sa paggastos na po ng budget, hindi na po sa preparasyon. No? Kaya hindi po natin kine-question dito to raise or to also engage with the point earlier raised by several other representatives. Hindi po natin kine-question dito yung Act of Congress na nag-approve ng unprogrammed appropriations. Ang kine-question po natin yung pagpapatupad ng Pangulo. At ang dinidiin po natin, ayon sa batas, sole and exclusive ang kapangyarihan ng Pangulo dito. Bakit po ganun ang batas? Bakit binibigay sa Pangulo ang sole discretion to authorize the use of unprogrammed appropriations dahil lump sum po siya. Inaprubahan ng Kongreso ang unprogrammed appropriations na meron lamang general purposes pero walang line item na magtutukoy kung ano-anong mga proyekto ang nasa ilalim ng mga purposes nito. Lump sum po yun. No? Kaya nga po, tinakda talaga sa admin code na kailangan, kung gagastusin ng unprogrammed fund na lump sum, kailangan may direct authorization ng Pangulo. Dahil sa mata ng batas, siya na ang final check and balance dito. May responsibilidad siya na tiyakin na yung paggagamitan ng unprogrammed appropriations ay matino at totoong proyekto na magsisilbi talaga sa interes ng mamamayan at hindi lamang ghost, hindi lamang kung ano-anong proyekto na pagkikitaan lamang. At yun po ang sinasabi nating abuso ng discretion. Kaya nga, inugnay po natin ang pagpahintulot niya, ang failure niya to exercise proper discretion, kaya naipakita na rin na yung marami sa mga tumanggap ng proyekto na pinondohan ng unprogrammed appropriations ay ngayon may kaso sa ombudsman, mga contractors na katulad ng SunWest at Silverwolves, among others. Yun po. So, Madam Chair, mukhang hindi yata naiintindihan ng ilan kung ano yung aligasyon dito sa
With all
complaint.
due respect
Madam
to
Chair.
DS Garin and the Honorable Tino, we have provided both parties ample opportunity to ventilate their respective arguments and views. We will be terminating your discussions on this point, and we will be moving to the next speaker.
Madam Chair, can I have a last recap to review?
If I allow you for the last recap, DS Garin, will Honorable Tino request again for another recap?
It depends. Madam Chair.
With the indulgence of both parties, we are terminating the discussion of your contrary views on this point.
Madam Chair, just a very quick 1-minute manifestation. Just for the record.
The Deputy Speaker is recognized.
Yeah. Madam Chair, just to manifest, hindi po totoong hindi ko naiintindihan ang budget process. Yes, it's a lump sum allocation, but there is an accompanying list enumerating the prioritization and the numbering of the programs. Ang listahan ng mga proyekto, because this has to be corrected, because people listening might think that it's another pork barrel. While it's considered a lump sum, kaakibat doon ang listahan ng mga proyekto na dapat pondohan. And what I am saying, Madam Chair, we cannot set a precedence that will put our government in a jeopardy dahil wala nang gagalaw kung sinasabi natin ang presidente ang dapat maghimay, tumingin at tingnan ang technical at pinansyal na aspeto ng bawat proyekto. In summary, Madam Chair, yes, the authorization is mandated by law to come from the President, but that signature comes only at a point where the Cabinet, the DBM, Senate, and Congress has finished all the vetting process, and he approves based on the knowledge that it is needed, it is the priority, and he does that commensurate to the chronological listing submitted and attached to the General Appropriations Act. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.